Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you can never seem to win as a mom? That you never feel like you have that sense of, I'm doing a good job? Well, if you have, hi, my name is Amy. You are so not alone, and I'm so thankful that you clicked on this video because I'm going to share with you today 13 small, tiny, 1-minute habits that have really helped take me from a stressed and overstimulated and overwhelmed mother and help me become a more content, peaceful, capable mom. And I'm so excited to share it with you. Before we get into it, I just want to briefly introduce myself if you are new here. Like I said, my name is Amy and I am a wife of 7 years, homeschooling mom to 2 little boys, and I am a Christian homemaker. Here on this channel, I love sharing about my journey, my walk through motherhood as a Christian, my walk with God through motherhood. And I feel like I am constantly being sanctified and stretched in my role as a wife, mother, and homemaker. And I hope that you will join us here on this channel, hit that subscribe button, and come along because I love just talking about real things, real life things that I think can really turn the needle when it comes to how you feel in your everyday life. I think it's so important for us to keep our eyes on the things that we can control and intentional about the things, surrendering the things that we cannot. And that's why I'm so excited to get into this list with you, because these are things that you can take control of, but there's also things in here, habits that I did not realize I needed to start implementing, releasing control. So let's get into it. The first 1-minute habit is to hydrate and nourish yourself. The first thing that I do every single morning is I drink a glass of water. This is a habit that I started doing kind of out of necessity because I have a medication that I need to take first thing in the morning for my thyroid, and it needs to be taken with a full glass of water. In the morning when you first wake up, your body is so dehydrated. And the first thing that so many of us do is we reach for caffeine, we reach for coffee, but that is completely missing the point of what your body is actually craving. It is ignoring what your body really needs, and what your body needs is hydration. The way I do this is every night I fill my water bottle and I leave it right beside my bed waiting for me for when I wake up in the morning. I brush my teeth, I take my medicine, and I literally chug the water bottle. I don't give myself any option to think about it. I just do it. I think that is really key as well. Don't give yourself a chance to talk yourself out of it. Literally make it a habit, and you will be amazed at just how much more awake you feel and how much better you feel when you first wake up. Another thing that I've gotten in the habit of doing is having something small first thing in the morning to eat before I have breakfast. This helps get my metabolism going. This helps give my body what it needs, makes my body feel safe, so I'm not jacking up those cortisol levels that make you feel frantic and like you're on edge already first thing in the morning going into your day. Some tips for this is like cutting up half of a banana or a handful of nuts, putting it into a little cup, just bring it beside your bed or wherever it is that you like to wake up and do your morning routine, bringing it right alongside you, and let yourself snack on it while you're drinking your water and you're getting yourself prepped and ready for the day. The second 1-minute habit that I have is to pray over your day. It is so vital for me to spend a couple minutes talking to the Lord every single morning. In the first few minutes that I wake up, I immediately jump into prayer. I immediately start praying over my family, praying over my day, whatever it is like I know is coming this day, whatever I have planned. I am praying to God that He watches over us and leads us and guides us towards our highest good and the highest good of all. I'm praying that He blesses our day and helps me move through it with patience and grace, and that He fills me with the Holy Spirit. That has been such a game changer for me, helping me to just, again, release control, surrender my day, and trusting in Him to lead me through it. Trusting in Him that no matter what comes today, I know it's going to lead me to my highest good and the highest good of all. In that, I can rest and I can relax and I can just be. The third 1-minute habit I have for you alongside of that is to read a page from your Bible or your devotional or your favorite book, whatever it is that you have on your nightstand. Let's be real, you might not get a full page done in a minute, but just setting that habit, setting that intention, creating that rhythm of reading something that is nourishing for your soul and your mind every single morning gets you in a place of, I got this, that you are growth minded, that you are seeking wisdom. I think that is so important, something that we forget, or maybe we're not even really taught going into adulthood and motherhood especially, that we are always growing and evolving. We need to be always growing and evolving, because what worked for us in one season of our lives is not going to work for us in another season. We need to constantly be seeking the knowledge that we wish to have. This will be the first real year that I am doing homeschooling in our home with my children, and I'm very nervous about it. I have so much imposter syndrome around it, so I am flooding my mind as much as I can with people and books and knowledge around these subjects so that I can prepare myself and go into this as best prepared that I can, while also having the Lord alongside me to walk me through it. Number 4, put on something you love. I think it's so important. I've talked about this a lot in some of my recent videos, but I think it's just one of those things that you really take for granted, and it's so life-changing and life-giving when you really become intentional about how you dress. When I was a new mom, I have gone through so many phases of myself and evolutions and transformations, especially just even in the last 3 years of my life. It is wild for me to look back at who I was and how I treated myself and how I thought of myself, how I carried myself into me now. You probably would just be shocked. The truth is that I really didn't put that much effort into how I dressed. I really felt like I was just surviving as a young mom, and I think that's totally fair and valid. I mean, we've all been there. But if you can start to slowly climb your way out of that way of thinking and way of feeling, and start to look at this as a gift, this is my job, and show up in it as such, it will really shift your attitude and how you feel and show up in your days as a wife, mother, and homemaker. I have been intentional these last 6 to 8 months about curating and cultivating a wardrobe that makes me feel good, with pieces that are good quality, that make me feel good and feel good on my skin, that flatter my body, that are modest and make me feel comfortable as a mother of 2. I think there's so much to be said about that, because there were so many times and have been so many moments and days where I have literally gone from calm to angry because of something internal within me that I was feeling based off of how I was dressed, based off of what I was wearing, and how uncomfortable I felt in it. So don't dress just for the moment. Dress for how you want to feel throughout the whole day. Something that's comfortable and beautiful that can move with you throughout the day and make sense and is practical. If you're going to be inside and outside all day long, keeping that in mind, something that can really transition with you and that will breathe and flow and allow you to still feel feminine and beautiful and comfortable all at the same time. Number 5 is to send a voice message to a friend. I know how easy it is to unintentionally and unknowingly isolate yourself as a stay-at-home mom. You get into your rhythms and your flows and your schedules and your routines, and before you know it, it could be days or weeks or months that you have last chatted or checked in with a friend of yours. Motherhood can be so lonely. It can be so isolating, which is why it's so important to have intentionality with reaching out and seeking the love and connection that it is that we really want to receive. My 6th 1-minute habit is to turn on some worship music. You guys, I love me some good worship music, and you know who loves it too? My kids. My kids love listening to worship music. Whether we're in the car and I turn on K-Love radio, or we're at home and things are getting kind of tense or the boys are being rowdy, sometimes I'll just ask them, hey, you guys want to listen to some music? I'll put on some Brandon Lake or Elevation worship, and I'm telling you, it changes the entire mood of our home. And that's the power of just a few minutes of worshiping the Lord. It's so powerful and so beautiful, and honestly, it's not only something that I love, but it's something I can share and connect with my kids on. And number 7, go outside. Go outside If things are feeling stuffy and overwhelming and too much inside, I give you full permission to grab your baby, or if you got toddlers and they're big enough, to walk outside. It immediately grabs your kid's attention. It immediately gets everyone out of the state of thinking and being that they're currently in, and it challenges you to shift your state. Because how can you go outside and not feel more grounded? Oftentimes it's just that change of scenery, that breathing in fresh air, getting sunshine on my face, feeling the breeze, stepping into the grass. It's literally so life-giving, and it's so easy as homemakers to spend most of our time in the four walls of our home. And it's just something that, again, we can consciously lose sight of and we can subconsciously avoid, and it can be such an answer to prayer and we don't even realize it. So if you get that urge, if you're feeling overwhelmed, step outside, invite your kids, just sit on the front porch, let your kids join you, and just see how the mood shifts. And number 8, give your kids a job to do. I really don't do this enough, and I'm going to be doing it more, especially as we move into the fall and the indoor months. But my kids love to help. I don't know about yours, but my kids light up when I give them a job to do. My 5-year-old literally lives for me to give him a job to do or a task. Not only is it teaching them skills, but it's also like just relieving the burden off of you. Are they gonna do the job that you would do? No. Do you want them to like polish your china? Definitely not. I'll just give my kids like a damp rag and a little tiny spray bottle, and I'll be like, here, go wash the windows for mommy. And I'm telling you, it keeps them occupied for at least a few minutes, and it makes them feel like important and like they're doing something, they're contributing, and it also just distracts them from whatever it is that you didn't want them doing a few minutes before. And it gives you a few minutes to breathe and focus on whatever it is that you were trying to accomplish. And my 9th 1-minute habit is something you might not be expecting, but it's to simply sit down. I know you. I know how you are. I know that you literally are probably on your feet going from one thing to the next for hours on end. I know that you probably don't sit down until your kids are finally in bed or it's quiet time. But if you are really feeling mentally and emotionally overloaded and exhausted, if you have that tightness in your chest and you just feel like you can't take a deep breath, I want to challenge you to just take a minute to sit down, let your kids crawl all over you, fill yourself with gratitude. Think about how cute your kids are. Look at the sunlight coming in through the windows. Pet your dog. Give yourself a minute to just be. And in that moment too, if you feel called, pray. Ask for assistance from the Lord, whatever it is that's challenging you. I promise you, He will deliver. It will change the game. My 10th 1-minute habit is to call your husband, call your spouse, call your partner, and just check in with him. See how his day is going. Connect with your husband, period. I can't tell you how many times I've done this where I've been running a bunch of errands and the kids have just been really rowdy, really just overwhelming. Maybe some things went wrong, or I'm just feeling flustered. I've got a long to-do list. I will call my husband, and I don't dump it on him, but I'll just simply talk to him. And sometimes just relaying to him what it is that I'm stressing about makes everything just feel so much smaller, makes everything just feel so much more manageable. And oftentimes he'll either validate me, or he'll encourage me, or he'll just relieve me from whatever it is I was stressing about. Even just having that moment of connection in a job that is so very solo, like you're just in it all by yourself, it reminds me that I'm not. It reminds me that I am part of a team, that I am one piece of this family puzzle, and that I don't have to figure it all out on my own. He is there, and He's there to support me, and He's there to love me and encourage me. And my 11th 1-minute habit is to start or do or flip a load of laundry. Laundry is just one of those arch nemesis. It's just one of those things with homemaking. It's never gonna go away. It's always gonna be there, and we can kick and scream and resent it and like avoid it all that we want, but it's never gonna go away. I used to have such a love-hate relationship with laundry. I really, really did. I personally really don't like folding laundry, and I would let the basket sit for a day or two, and sometimes that still happens. But the more I just embrace it, the more I just do it, it, the more I realize, wow, this feels really accomplishing to just get it done. So that by the time the evening comes or dinner time comes, that is not the thing that I am looking at or that is staring at me from my bedroom door. That is not the thing that is looming over my head. I am free of that physical clutter weighing on me. And so do yourself a favor, flip that laundry, pull that load out, get to folding, whatever you can get done in just a couple minutes. You don't have to do it all at once, and it feels so good. And number 12 is to do something creative just for you. Maybe you want to try out a new recipe, or maybe you crochet or knit, or you sew, or you like to paint, or you're working on a project. Take some time to work on that for yourself. And I mean it. If it's only a minute, do it for a minute. Put in some time into the thing that you love to do, because that creativity is like fuel to a fire for a homemaker. It's not an accident that we see so many women on social media becoming these incredible DIYers, because having a project, having something to put our mark on, we are creative beings. I think it's just one of those things that I am still continuously learning about myself, that there's so many things that I want to try. There's so many things I want to do. I always have ideas spinning, and it can feel really overwhelming. And honestly, it's made me feel depressed at times when I'm not able to pursue those things. But of course, I think we put all this pressure on ourselves that we have to have so much time to be able to put towards these projects, but it's just unrealistic. And that's something that I preach about so hard on this channel. I'm always being real about the fact that I don't do this all in one time, that this happens over many months or weeks, that I am just doing a little bit here and there. When that minute, that opportunity comes about, I seize it. And I am encouraging you to seize it as well, because before you know it, you're gonna look back and realize how much you could have gotten done and can get done with that 1 minute of progress every single day. And finally, number 13, just breathe. Just breathe. Breathe and let it go. Surrender it to the Lord. Pray that He will continue to fill you with the wisdom that it is that you're needing to hear, that He will continue to pull out the weeds within your heart that are no longer serving you, that He will plant seeds of the Spirit within you, and that He will help you continue to grow in your role as a wife, mother, and homemaker. That is my biggest wish and hope for you, that I can continue to help encourage you in that journey and in that process, and help you find more peace, passion, and purpose in your role as a wife, mother, and homemaker, because you were made for this and you were made for more. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would so appreciate it if you would give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment. What tips do you have to share? What are some 1 minute habits that maybe you're doing that would bless and encourage others? Leave them down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I put out new videos every Sunday. So until next time, I'll see you in my next one.